Hey everybody, Dr. Greco here. Welcome to Ministry in a Minute. We've been discussing unity this week. And you know what we said Monday was we're definitely not unified. And yesterday our podcast for this week launched and discussed unity at length. And you know, one of the questions that people ask me when I talk about unity, because I believe that within a church, we often talk about unity, but I don't know that we're unified in a church, and we're not unified by, again, looking the same, having the same feelings on issues. Sameness is not unity. Okay, unity is defined scripturally as one Lord, one faith, one baptism. So are we following the same God? We're not, as the body of Christ. And even if we are within each church, there's so many little churches out there, and there's so many denominations that we're so fractured in our Christian culture, and we shouldn't be. And so people say, why? Why be unified? And I said yesterday because it's worshipful. But you know what else? Because Jesus said so. You realize in John 15, 16, 17, Jesus prays this lengthy prayer. It's the high priestly prayer. And he prays specifically in chapter 17 for us. Starting in verse 20, he says, my prayer is not only for them, the disciples who he just prayed for, but also for those who will believe in me through their message. Okay, that's us. So he's praying specifically for future Christians. Jesus, at the end of his ministry, praying specifically for us. And here's what he says. May they be brought to complete unity, to let the world know that you sent me and you've loved them even as you've loved me. Okay? Maybe one of the most important reasons for unity, Jesus lays out right there. He prays. He looks ahead and he says, I know these people are going to want to separate because pride is the original sin. But Lord, keep them together so that people will see the truth of my message. Can you imagine the power the church would have if we would unify across denominational boundaries? We'd be in charge of our country for sure. We're still a majority Christian country. Okay? Even if we weren't the majority, there'd be so many and there'd be such a unified voice, they wouldn't be able to stand up against us. But we're busy in our fiefdoms. Jesus prayed for unity because that's where power is. That's not only where God blesses, but that's where God works. And we divide that power instead of putting the Spirit together and working towards one thing, which Jesus says that the world would know that He is the way and the truth and the life. That's shown best when we are one. We'll see you tomorrow for another Ministry in a Minute.